Alright, going into game 3 with FortuitousOne. He has challenged me to my standard Turtler7 challenge. This is available to the whole world. You play me in each set, one at a time, just Chronicles of the God Slayer until you win. Then you move on to the next set once you win and do that. Burnt dinner. Oops. I'm giving him distractions. Also, just as a note, the 3-2 split here for the runic and then a 5 for the fly trap, if he doesn't have a 5, is really rough. He's losing both at dinner and at the game. We would not do that during championship play, so I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass. But getting that fly trap, I feel bad for him. It's not an arbiter, but man, fly trap and runic, and there's 2 more life bounds out here to shoot for. And thankfully I got my fly trap in that first hand, so I know it's not going to be my bottom card like it was in one of the tournament games, where it was just real frustrating that I shuffle. My first buy is a fly trap. I get to play it once after I've already shuffled my second time, and then it goes to the bottom again. So I played the fly trap witch twice in an entire game off a first buy. That is just not something you see. It's ridiculous. Really, more lifebound. You know what? Most people wouldn't do this, but I'm going to go for another druids. I can stack mystics on top of my deck to set up for later, and I have a runic that plays off of having more lifebound. There's all kinds of cool stuff I can do with that. Alright, this is still just stacking away the Mystic. Runic's on top. I only got 5, but I will get some power out of this, and I will be able to stack the deck a little for the future. I don't think I really want to go for another Druids of the Stone Circle, and he's already got a 3-cost Burrower Mark. Don't really want to leave him more constructs of that type. Definitely give me the Temple Librarian. And then I have choices. And unfortunately my fly trap's in my next 5. I don't think I'm going to get anything particularly good out of all this. So I'll go ahead and take my Spike Vixen now. I was really hoping I'd draw one of those stackers. Putting Chetra into my deck would make me happy, but honestly, I have enough draw now that I got a Temple Librarian. I can run my deck a different way. I'm real happy that the Druids of the Stone Circle are getting a buff coming up in the 10th anniversary version. They can now acquire 4 costs, so they're not so useless, but they're already not useless. For example, I think this is a Chetra. If I put a Mystic on top, I get rid of this militia, that gives me exactly what I need from the remaining deck makeup, as long as I didn't draw druids again. And if I did, I'd just stack for power the next turn. Speaking of stacked for power, this is where I transition. So far I've primarily gotten buying, and then I've stashed a little bit of killing splash in here. Now I start stacking the killing and abusing it. Ooh! Ooh, can I get it? Yes, I can have a second rocket. Oh, he took another turn. He's like, no, you can't have that. No, Joe, none of that. Can't really say I blame him. Oh, crud. This is where I'm supposed to stack power, but you just put a Hadron cannon up there. I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. And I'm glad I did. But man. Hurts not to try to push for it. Well, let's start with the Sea Tyrant. Let's keep stacking that power like I'm supposed to. I'm going to be a good Joe. I'm not going to fall for the Hadron Trap. There's still a method and a mistake of creation. There are ways to get rid of it. He might get rid of it himself. Corrosive. Corrosive Widow. Corrosive Widow. Corrosive Widow. You should get rid of the Corrosive Widow. No, Sea Tyrant, okay. Not the Hadron, not the Corrosive. I've got 5 runes in my hand. Will I get a grand design? Will I? Will I? It appears that I get a grand design. Which will definitely help with this Hadron Cannon. So I have 3 runes showing in my hand and the ability to stack the deck. I can get 2 and 2 with this runic. It's never going to be any better than that. I guess I'm hoping to get enough power off of the draw to kill an Earth Tyrant and keep drawing. Yeah, I don't care about the straight to play. I care about the monetary value. So I stack the runic. I get rid of which one? Ooh, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heavies accounted for. That's all 5 of them. How about the mystics? 1, 2, 3, and 4 mystics accounted for. That's all of them. Not liking the sound of that. So do I have both druids accounted for? Nope, there's still a druids in there. Do I have any other draw cards in there since I'm using my Temple Librarian right now? What about my second runic? Second runic's over here. There is a militia in my discard, so I'm not getting power. I know I'm going to have exactly 2 more power, then 1 more power, and it's never going to matter. So let's go ahead and do that. And that, and then let's mistake of creation. I have to make a judgment call. Which of these things am I most worried about? And I'm going to be honest right here. I don't think aiming for the Hadron Cannon is necessary for me. It would be really good for me, but it's not necessary, and it's potentially a card that brings him back. So I'm just not going to mess with it. I'm just going to say goodbye, Hadron Cannon. No messing with you, sir. Ah, crud. So, I have 2 runes showing in my hand, 2 towards Mechana, which means I need 2 more. I'm going to take the guarantee with the Mystic stack. Hello, Mystic stack. Then let's go ahead and get some banishing going on up in here. And let's get rid of other banishing. I want to be the one controlling that part of the game. No leaving me my Wolf Shaman? I see how it is. Well, I have good news. I can take the Burrower and still afford a Void Thirster. Solid. We're actually at the point of the game I considered Mechana Shadow Star, because that's 4 points instead of the 3 for the Void Thirster. But I figure I'll get to play the Void Thirster once, and I've set up a deck to kill things. And we haven't seen all that many monsters. We've seen a moderate mix of the 4s. There's still a decent number of 3s and 1 big 6, 1 big 7 left. I think they're going to come into play. I haven't seen any Wind Tyrants until this one. I bank on power being a big swing at this end stage of the game. Ooh, is somebody going to lose their constructs? Depends on what I draw. Can I get a Lifebound? Can I get a life bound? Can I get a life bound? Yes, I can get a life bound. Somebody's gonna lose their constructs. Well, part of them. Alright. There we go. Well, this one's actually a weird game. I have so much value in my deck that I'm pretty sure I'm going to get this, but it's weird. Like, properly weird. So let's stack a heavy infantry. Let's do some of this stuff. It's not going to get any better than buying one of these. That's fair. So do I want an instant stack, or do I want 2 and 2 now? I'll take the 2 and 2 now, and I will take just 2 cultists because I think the game ends on his turn, and that's slightly more points than the risk. Basically, taking the 2 and 2 got me a heavy and a cultist versus stacking a heavy into a turn I'd probably never see. I did never see it. He did gain enough honor that I was never going to get it no matter what choice I made. So I edged out 1 extra point that way. And choosing 2 cultists over Samuel's Trickster also edged out an extra point. And there we go, game 3.